Good evening, nerds and nerdettes, and happy Halloween. What a special season it is. It's the one day a year it's socially acceptable to dress up like this young fellow. Or in other words, the one day a year I get to go outside and still choose not to. So I figured I might take advantage of the opportunity to talk about Sonic for the, 10th time. Pretty scary in its own way, I think. Scarily cool and sad. And although Sonic isn't exactly known for horrifying gameplay, at least not intentionally anyway, Sonic is no stranger to your typical haunted encounter here and there. So what better way to celebrate the season than to talk about ghosts in the Sonic the Hedgehog series? Okay, a rhetorical question. So let's start at the beginning. The earliest notable examples of ghouls in the Sonic the Hedgehog series are these guys called the, Huro, I guess is how you say it. Apparently the name Hudoro is the Japanese onomatopoeia for the sounds a ghost would make, at least according to the Sonic Wiki, which as we all know is the premier source for objective fact. Here's one example from some random anime I found. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and Personally, I'm more of a fan of Estonia's ghost sound. Moa ho hau, or alternatively, tot tot tot. Come on, Estonians, what's the big deal? Afraid of a little bit of this? Anyway, for all you freaks who don't already know about this for some reason, these guys are from Sonic and Knuckles, specifically Sandopolis Zone. Basically, they're spirits that haunt a cursed pyramid, and once the lights go out, they grow little devil horns and start to very slowly attack you and almost always miss. Hey Sonic, can you take like 2 steps to your right? Perfect. You may proceed as normal. What you might not know is that according to the official Japanese guidebook for Sonic Jam, the Hudoro are actually not affiliated with Dr. Robotnik at all. And as far as I'm aware, they're the first enemies in this series that don't work for him, beating out the likes of Chaos from Sonic Adventure and even Witch Cart from Tails Sky Patrol, which I'm sure will come as a devastating blow to the Witch Cart fan community. In the context of this story, Eggman has managed to capture and contain the Hudoro in one of his capsules. A capsule which he decided to place directly below an entirely unavoidable chute that launches Sonic directly into it. Yeah, 300 IQ, my ass.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Snooping as usual, I see.
As a kid, I always wondered if it was possible to just not open the capsule and not have to deal with these little assholes. Well, although it's not possible through normal means, it is possible to avoid releasing the Hudoro by using the game's debug mode. Although once you touch a checkpoint, they just spawn in anyway. I guess Eggman just missed a few? I don't fucking know. Interestingly, in Knuckles' story, the Hudoros are actually already released at the start of the level, given that Knuckles' playthrough of the game actually takes place after Sonic's. Now, I know this is gonna upset some of you, but unfortunately this is the only notable appearance of Hudoros throughout the series. Except, they do appear in Sonic Rivals 2, baby! Let's hear it for Sonic Rivals 2! Next up, I thought it would be kind of fun to take a look at these guys from Sonic Heroes, known as Pumpkin Ghosts. Now you're probably thinking, what is there to say about pumpkin ghosts? I mean, like, they're ghosts. They've got pumpkins for heads.
Everyone at the head enhancement clinic said nobody would notice.
Now, pumpkin ghosts are a peculiar bunch because they pretty much do nothing and die in one hit. They're pretty pathetic. And outside of Heroes, they've pretty much never appeared again in the series. Now, you might think that's the end of the story for pumpkin ghosts, but actually, Sonic Heroes is arguably not their first appearance, as some very similar looking pumpkin ghosts appear in Sonic Adventure's Halloween Party DLC. Yeah, okay, it's not an exact match, but I mean, come on, you got the pumpkin, you got the ghost. I like to think they're the same. I mean, how many other ghosts with pumpkin heads are there in the Sonic franchise? Oh, well, that doesn't count. Oh, and by the way, yes, you heard that right. Sonic Adventure DLC. Even all the way back in 1999, Sonic Team was doing downloadable content. Although back then it didn't make you want to assume the fetal position. I don't really see what people are complaining about. I mean, this isn't so hard. One of the touchstone features of the Sega Dreamcast was its ability to connect to the World Wide Web, which allowed for online multiplayer, among other things. The Dreamcast was pretty much the first of its kind in the online gaming sphere. It was insanely ahead of its time. Anyway, Sonic Adventure was one of many Dreamcast games to support online functionality, and at the time, Sega offered some additional content for the game via their official website. Now bear in mind this wasn't anything crazy. Typically all they offered through these downloads is like a change in music and maybe a few cosmetic differences. There were a pretty good number of these DLC events. They had a celebration for the launch of the Sega Dreamcast, which is pretty cool. Welcome to the Dreamcast launch. This is just the beginning. Ooh. Who's gonna tell him?
The lad deserves to enjoy his final hours.
There were even a couple of promotional events featuring sponsorships from AT&T and Reebok. Although if this is supposed to entice me into buying Reebok shoes, then they're not doing a very good job. I mean, damn. I'll have to save the specific details for another time, but of particular note is the game's Halloween Party DLC. All that's really different here is that there are a few Halloween-themed decorations in Twinkle Park, including these special little jack-o'-lantern guys that I've already mentioned. When you touch one of them, they'll say trick or treat, but other than that, that's pretty much the extent of their functionality. Yeah, it's not much, but I mean, come on, it's pretty cute, you gotta admit that. Now, Sega, being as incompetent, lazy, malodorous, stupid, spirited, greedy, racist, ugly, spirited as they are, obviously have provided no official avenue to experience these DLC events in the year of our Lord 2023. And for all you GameCube, Xbox, and Dreamcast gamers, I'm sorry to say that you're just shit out of luck here. But fret not, dear viewer with hyper-specific niche interests, because the extremely poggers PKR has created a comprehensive mod that mostly restores the DLC functionality to its original form for the PC release of the game, as well as some original custom events. One more thing I should note is that technically it's still possible to get this DLC working on original Dreamcast hardware. It just requires more than minimal effort, so I obviously didn't bother. Alright, next up, I wanted to talk about booze. Yeah, I wish. No, I'm talking about these guys from Sonic Adventure 2. Yes, their names are Booze, just like the Mario ghosts, not confusing at all. Wait, so you're telling me that Sega took an idea from Nintendo?
I have no knowledge of any of this.
They appear in a few different levels of Sonic Adventure 2, but they're probably most closely associated with Pumpkin Hill, which obviously requires no introduction thanks to its music having some of the shittiest lyrics ever.
I know that it's here, I can sense it in my feet.
What the fuck do you mean? I don't know who came up with that lyric. I guess we shouldn't be that surprised. I mean, this is pretty much par for the course as far as Knuckles' rap lyrics go. How could you forget about it?
They call me Knuckles. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle.
If I ever find one of these lying around again, I swear to fucking God.
For the most part, these guys don't really do much. Some of them literally just jump out at you. They don't even do any damage, which scared the ever-loving shit out of me as a kid. Yeah, I have an idea. Let's have ghosts that look like this jump out at you in an E-rated game. Hey, that's a great idea. Thanks, Satan. Fucking assholes. Imagine if they did something like this in a Mario game. That would be fucking wild. Be pretty messed up. Pretty messed up indeed. Yep. You guys enjoying Sonic Superstar? Oh god. The Boos have shown up a couple of times outside of Sonic Adventure 2. I know they show up in one level of Sonic Lost World, but I wouldn't really know since I never finished that game. And can you really blame me?
Whoa, overcompensate much?
Is Sonic implying what I think he's implying?
Is this a towel?
What am I supposed to cover with that? Are you making fun of me?
What I really wanted to mention, though, is that Boos made an appearance in the now-defunct 2015 mobile game Sonic Runners, in which they were erroneously called boobs. This is a real screenshot from an official Sonic game, and I think that's pretty epic. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the trio of ghosts from Night of the Werehog, which is an animated short Sega release to promote Sonic Unleashed. If you haven't seen it, basically it's about Sonic and Chip taking refuge in a haunted mansion during a rainstorm, only to be haunted by these three, Sue, and La. Yeah, this one's name is fucking U-H, although I guess it's pronounced Woo, which is too bad. I kind of liked although Woo has its perks, I suppose.
Say my name.
Anyway, these characters are pretty obscure. Night of the Werehog is their only substantial appearance, although Sue and Woo would go on to appear in a few town missions in the HD version of Sonic Unleashed. And later, all three of them would make a small cameo in one issue of the IDW comics. But yeah, that's pretty much it for these three, which I would say is a shame, but I mean, I can kind of take them or leave them. I mean, do I really seem like the kind of guy to care about obscure Sonic characters?
I was just looking for the sports channel, Gary.
The animation studio that created this short is known as Marza Animation Planet, which is owned and created by Sega themselves. They've mostly worked on cutscenes for Sega video games, many of which are obviously Sonic games. You're looking at some of their work here. But they've also worked on the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, and even that CGI Lupin the Third movie, which has some great looking animation. But yeah, Marza Animation Planet are the ones responsible for the creation of Sue, Woo, and Law, and they've sort of become the studio's unofficial mascots, with illustrations of the trio frequently being posted on their various Twitter accounts. I guess it's kind of cool to see these characters maintain some kind of relevance. It's more than can be said about some other characters. Actually, right before I was about to upload this video, Marza Animation Planet uploaded a brand new short featuring Sue, Woo, and La to their official YouTube channel. So there you go, I guess that's pretty cool. And I probably won't have another chance to bring this up, so here's a little bonus trivia for you surrounding this short. There's a Dreamcast hidden in plain sight during the short, right here. Interestingly, there was a scrapped scene for Night of the Werehog where Sonic and Chip would have actually played the Dreamcast, but it had to be cut due to time constraints, unfortunately. I really would have liked to have seen Sonic have an existential crisis upon seeing himself in Sonic Shuffle or some shit. But then again, who wouldn't have an existential crisis playing Sonic Shuffle?
Hey, you wanna see something cool?
Anyway, that pretty much does it for Sonic the Hedgehog ghosts. I mean, there's a few more, but they're not really that interesting, as much as I'd love to talk about Antonio from Sonic 06, everybody's favorite character.
Hey.
Now that's it for official Sonic ghosts. As for unofficial Sonic ghosts, I'm not talking about that shit. What do I look like, some kind of Chills ripoff? Number 15, Tails doll. The last thing you'd want in your new Sonic game is the Tails doll, but as it turns out, that might be what you get. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got for today. Last thing I wanted to say is, Blocky Nation, 2 bajillion% of you still aren't subscribed yet. And if you guys don't subscribe, then I'm probably gonna starve. Patreon.com/Blockyboxguy. Next video is gonna be my Sonic Jack-o'-lantern tutorial video. Here's a preview. Hey guys, so I'm gonna teach you how to make a boob from Sonic. So when all the trick-or-treaters come by, they can see your boob. Okay, so first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take the